extra attempts to get the tyres up to temperature. The difference between Chris Richardson and Matty Ellis lap time wise isn't vast, but the way they achieve the lap time is completely different. So Chris Richardson now heading through Knickerbrook, working hard at the controls.
Very, very well sorted cars. To get amongst the leaders back with us, here comes headlights, April 8. TV on the gap 3.6 seconds is the advantage over and right behind him it is the 2.5 litres of the
that point, but he managed to rejoin with a bit of a flurry and is back going once again. Michael Saunders extended the lead margin yet more with another fastest lap of the race, probably 7.52. Matty Ellis absolutely knows the tail back from there. It's a unique view watching a Chevrolet Monte Carlo being chased down by so when I say chased down, it's the
side, which I think is Mark Stansfield.
Yeah, Mark Stansfield with a big look around the outside. He's going to have to be brave to make that work. Can't make it work on that occasion. But Mark Stansfield, and there's contact further down through the order. A couple of cars off. I'll try and pick out which one those two are. Tom, Heyman, Joyce, but they've found a relative place of safety, and we'll go over and speak to the marshals.
Okay, it's a shame to lose two cars from there at the first time. Coming down for the second time of asking at Knickerbrook.
Yeah, back towards us. It is Mark Stansfield in the lead with a couple of car lengths margin over Anthony Barnes. So where that happened, I don't know, but perfect timing for Mark Stansfield.
It's a 20-minute race, but it's exactly what you think. Yeah, if you are in third and you're not under any imminent pressure from behind, then that is the place to be at the moment. Maybe save the tyres, save the brakes, save the car a little bit, let everyone else do the work.
He does have Stuart Calder with him, but I think Stuart Calder is in the same mindset. I'm not on the outside, but I would say Mark Stansfield late enough on the brakes, but he hits the oil, locks up, and just about gets the car slowed down. I did wonder why he was over that side of the circuit, but Mark Stansfield, with a big lock-up and a slightly sideways moment, takes the lead.
Yeah, that's the moment. The car must have absolutely down there.
To come by the commentary box, and when they do, I'll hand over to my colleague Stephen, who'll tell you all about the racing in the UK. There's tracks all over the UK.
Big agent gets flung.
I was about to say that there is an entire fog of it down there at Britain's as they've gone through.
There's plenty of it. Back towards me, though, it is Chris Needham that leads the way, ahead of Luke Simmons after a fabulous start. Started in 8th place, up into 2nd, and then the rest of the field goes flying through.
Yeah, none by the time he got here.
Back towards me through the Hislop chicane goes Chris Needham and Luke Simmons, followed by Aidan Hills, who has Tyler Reid all over his rear bar. Ollie Schlump's there, so too is Aaron Cook, leading the rest of the field at about 3%. But Chris Needham arrives, then it's still Luke Simmons side by side and contact between Ollie Schlupp and Aaron Cook for 4th. So it allows Chris Needham, Luke Simmons and Tyler Reid as a trio to run away. Aaron Cook muscled his way through past Peter Barrable that arrives, coming in towards Hislops. Is it going to be Chris Needham up the inside of Luke Simmons for the lead? Yes it is, they've swapped around again, so 5 cars all connected by their front and rear bumpers. It's Chris Needham from Luke Simmons from Tyler Reid, and then still Aidan Hills bridging that gap back to everybody else. Andy Bird, then Nathan
Of the season, for much of the season.
Yeah, so in towards Hislops, it is still Chris Needham from Tyler Reid, Aaron Cook, Luke Simmons, Ollie Schlupp, and all this battling is allowing Aidan Hills to get in on the mix. So it's 6th for the lead almost. I can see that Chris Needham is one of the camera cars. Tyler Reid,
easily done.
leads his way through Hislops, leads the field through Hislops. It's going to be tight on the run towards the line because Aaron Cook absolutely with him. So too is Chris Needham. So too is Luke Simmons, Ollie Schlupp, Aidan Hills, from Paul Sethi as he dives up the inside, mounts the curb, all four wheels off the ground for a brief moment. Through all of that, he holds on to fourth place. But it is going to be Russ Oliver that leads the way ahead of David Yates. And it's going to be not Paul Sethi, pardon me. It is the 124 of Ben Winrow who is it's all changed up at the moment. He continues to lead. He's the only one that's in a stable spot.
It is, yeah, everyone else is shuffled. You're right, he took his third across the line with roadblocks. So yeah, it's under you. But tyre noise.
Yes, lots of tyre noise. Those moments, I think it's just drivers working the car that hard. Apart from him, that was very serious. But for the most part, place. They're all CBR Tuscans.
It is also already back here. That gap now out to 3 seconds, so a second and a half put into it. I see what you mean about Rob Oliver, who is right with Rob Oliver's raced his car a lot over the years. It's very, very just how he's done cracking little cars with Rob.
It's a bit more comfortable at standing on the throttle. So coming out of the corner on the throttle like we did earlier.
But let's see, last time though, he gets through cars already
in the championship. He's now just got a lot of work to do to get through the order.
Not a lot of laps of Oulton Park in 20 minutes necessarily, but there's a lot of corners.
No, we have seen that change for the lead now. Anthony Barnes in the lead of the race. He's also worked his way, or he has worked his way through past both Gilead. So Anthony Barnes will try and make his escape. Something in the region of £5,000.
Wow, and learn an awful lot about your own car.
Yes, absolutely. You know every nut and bolt on that car. So when it comes to maintenance, even better. Anthony Barnes leads the way ahead of Gilead, and then it is going to be the number 11 machine
Three cars at the back have closed up, and I think they are already on the back of the pack.
They are pretty much there. Carl Jones leading the way ahead of the number 30 machine. That's being Gilead. As for Anthony Barnes, leads ahead of still David Baldwin, and it's going to be Anthony Barnes. Mark Stansfield there as well.
Right, so it's yeah, all the big names heading up towards where we would
He's now being hunted down by Anthony Barnes, who did manage to get through and pass the number 5 of David Baldwin. We then get to Mark the next gear that he was looking for.
3 minutes 20 seconds left.
Yeah, this race has really started to fly by now. Through and past me goes race leader Carl Jones, Anthony Barnes with him, so too is Dave Baldwin, Mark Stansfield, Stuart Calder's back in on the of that train. Well, another position higher of the train. It is still Carl Jones from Anthony Barnes. And a bit of a break actually. Anthony Barnes has Mark Stansfield all over his tail. It's then David Baldwin there or thereabouts. I think that's all he reckons. But just started to fall. 97 that leads the way, which is had a great spin right way up into the direction.
Just everyone safely through. Britain's coming back down to you. Certainly it was Steve McCulley leading across the line on this part of the circuit. Is he still with you?
He is. It is the number 24 that's actually in the lead of the race. So Harry Air has taken the lead. He's carving his way through with Ben Winrow, so he's pushing on. As for Russ Oliver, he's there or thereabouts, but I think he turned to the
Certainly out front.
Paul Sethi out front and back towards me, places the car in the middle of the road by way of a defence from everybody around him. He is under pressure from Ben Winrow, who's up into third now. It's been a good lap from Ben Winrow. He's all over the coattails of Harry Air. So the lead sort of quartet work their way towards the lead. Through his lobs in towards Nickerbuck. But Ben Winrow into second place. Harry Air now sat there in third. As for fourth, that's all ahead of Ben going his way. Because all of a sudden Russ Olivans is up into second place. Back from there, it is Harry Air applying the pressure. So they're slowing each other down. Ben Winrow managed to stick that now. I'd imagine it's 8th place.
That's right, bit of good drive from Harry Air actually. Big top 10 race 1. But certainly showing he's got Aiden Hill, maybe. The cars aren't actually far past the pit lane exit, so there is waved yellows down there, and I think there is the hope that we can get them out of the way quite quickly, but we'll know for sure when they come back round.
Yeah, it won't be Aiden Hills, he works his way through.
Okay.
In Aaron. In Hills, a bit of a gap back to Chris Needham, then a bit cars length back to the very sideways Peter Barrable, I think. Tyler Reid from Aiden Hills, then it's going to be the number 12 of Stephen Treherne back in on the mix.
Chris Needham and Tyler Reid side by side, and Aiden Hill looking for a way to pass both of them.
Aiden Hills had a look up the inside, but it is still going to be Peter Barrable, Chris Needham that leads the way ahead of Aiden Hills. Tyler Reid, Aaron Cook, Stephen Treherne, Peter Barrable is there or thereabouts, so too is Andy the less said the better there. Chris Needham leads the way from Aiden Hills, then a very sideways Aaron Cook. He was going
sitting quite nicely in third to have the measure of Tyler Reid at this point in the race.
Almost contact, it would seem. What can the reigning champion do about applying pressure on his whipping?
Down the order if he had a point to make, should we say, putting in play.